Welcome to Pride Against Prejudice, a Shadowrun 4th edition actual play podcast.
Hi, I'm Simon and I'm playing Huggy Bear.
Hi, I'm Al and I'll be playing Maverick.
Hi, I'm Jack and I play Toyger.
Hi, I'm Michael and I'll be playing Sunshine.
And my name is Rhydian, I am the GM. If you would like any bonus content, a link to our living campaign map can be found in the show notes, along with a link to our Discord where you can get occasional bonus episodes, and if you'd like to add locations to the map or just ask us questions, you're welcome to join us there. If you stick about for a few seconds at the end of the episode, we also have a question for you as well. The following content may contain themes and materials not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Hi Chummers, we have a new podcast promo for you this week. This time, it's from the guys over at Dragon's Greed Gaming Podcast, with their Shadowrun game, Paydata. I've been a guest player on this one a couple of times, and they're a sound bunch of Omais, and their game is a lot of fun to listen to. There may or may not be an interesting new Shadowrun project appearing from them in the near future as well. Here's their trailer.
Yeah, I got the new ones. You just bring the guns, and I'll see you in 20. That's it. Ahoy, it's about time you called. You know, our mutual friend said to expect you. So let me cut right to brass tacks or whatever. I heard you're looking for some solid pay data. This happened to have the perfect fragging team for you. It's 4 dudes from right here in Puyallup. We got Volt, he's some kind of magic hobo. He smells like Drek, but you get used to it eventually. Mantis, he's the elf with all the swords. I guess he used to be a cop or something, but he's cool. You already know Knuckles, he's that badass orc with the fiber optic rainbow mohawk and tricked out chopper. They even got a troll for you. He's new on the scene. He's like a single dad. He's trying to make ends meet, but so here's the job. It's an easy one, I promise. It's real simple. All you gotta do is jack into the Matrix and download the pay data. Give it a listen. We'll talk about the money later. Yeah. Hey, before you even start, I know, you know I'm good for it. You know, our mutual friend will vouch for me. They'll even give you the Matrix link. And if that fails, you can search for Dragon's Greed Gaming. That's where you'll find the Shadowrun pay data. One last thing I guess I gotta tell you. The pay data, it's a Shadowrun 5th edition actual play podcast featuring an original story about how far some people will go to protect their family. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, but just get the pay data, okay? I'll be in touch, chummer. Oh shit, you're still on the line? How do you turn this damn thing off? Yeah, that's it. That's the end. That's it.
Shadowrun pay data. The most awesome actual play podcast available anywhere and everywhere.
The team have somehow managed to survive their unexpected escapade as pirates, with a doctor who seemed to want to get herself killed. But it looks like it's time to head home and recuperate and repair some drones. Toyger's apartment seems to have other ideas, though. You've just dropped off the doctor with Dean and Lucas. It was in a warehouse with some fairly serious hardware kicking about. Dean's just handed you a stack of cred sticks. Sunshine's player can't be here this evening, so Sunshine mutters something about needing to go see Luna, her girlfriend, and needing to do some job hunting. The 3 of you are now left standing outside a warehouse somewhere in Bath Beach, southern Brooklyn. What are you doing from here?
So Toyger's gonna fish around inside his jacket for a bit and produce the bullet that went through him.
Alright.
Because of this, I'm going to be taking my snazzy new captain's hat and epaulets home and crashing on my bed for a day or two Huggy, if you could like just kick me into the back of the car and then pour me out of it outside my building, I'd be very grateful.
I'll make sure you get home, Toyger, don't worry.
Thank you. And at that point, I'm just gonna like find a wall to lean against.
At this point, I will take Toyger and try and get him into the hammocks that I have in the back of the van.
You're big enough and he's wee enough that I'm not going to make him make a lift and carry check, though it would be fucking hilarious if you dropped him.
Drop him.
What more damage can I do at this point, really?
Don't let the GM get creative.
I mean, I've been shot, like inebriated, narcaned, locked in a room. Am I even going to get noticed if I am dropped into the pier?
I think Toyger is asking for things to be rolled.
I think he is. Give me a lift and carry there, okay?
That's 5 hits.
Bloody hell.
Oh, yeah, he's fine. Yeah, lift and carry. Trolls are good at this. You're giving Toyger a lift home. What else is happening?
Presumably Huggy is also giving me a lift home.
I don't know. Have you asked her?
Once I've got Toyger into the hammock, I'll turn and ask, Mav, do you need a lift?
Yes, please.
Right, hop in the front. You know the deal.
I know the deal.
All right, who are you dropping off first?
I will drop off Toyger first so that we can have, so that, you know, Huggy can carry him and then Mav can get the doors and stuff.
The drive over is pretty straightforward. You got to deal a little bit with the normal traffic. You've managed to catch it, so it's round about rush hour, so you do spend quite a bit of time just sat in traffic, but it is what it is. Your cred stick is definitely a little bit heavier, so
All's well.
you could be in a rush, but screw it. When you get over there, are the spikers out at the moment and visible there, Toyger, or are they buggered off doing something else at the minute?
There's always one or two, usually like younger, lower ranked members of the gang, and a few teenagers that maybe aren't members of the gang now, but are going to be in a few years' time. Not hanging around out front of the building trying to look tough.
They spot the van pull up, and word's gotten round about this van, and they just kind of give it a look, because I believe last time Huggy popped the turret on them, didn't you?
Yeah, last time one of them tried to get buys with me, so I popped the turret and it was like, if you really want to try it, bring it on.
They give you a dirty look, but that's about it.
Dirty looks won't hurt. I get them plenty.
Toyger sort of looks at one of the spikers and says, Momo, does your grandma know you're hanging out with these people?
He looks you up and down and says, Nana maybe join, because she said if I didn't join a street gang, I was going to get shanked.
But this street gang?
Hey, if I'm a member of another gang and I'm living here, I'm going to get stabbed by them. This is the logical choice for the least amount of stabbing.
The man has a point.
The spikers are not going to risk a fight with Mrs. Computer.
He scratches his nose and says, our territory's the ground floor. We don't go upstairs. We ain't fragging stupid, chummer.
The SimSense people on the 34th floor, they're not going to hurt anyone. The worst they're going to do is scowl at you.
I don't know, have you seen the troll they've had on the door in the last week?
I have not. I don't leave my flat very often. It occurs to me that I don't have much of a social life.
I mean, dude sits there reading a comic book, you think all's chill, and then he stands up.
Most trolls are like that. They are sitting there reading a comic book and then suddenly you're staring them in the belt buckle.
At this point, I will remind everyone that I'm probably still carrying Toyger.
I like the back of the neck like a kitten.
I was just thinking, just in your arms like a baby, and he's just arguing with this ganger. Who's just having to crane his neck.
I was thinking more like over my shoulder, just like, you know, slung over my shoulder, so they are having this conversation behind my back as I'm just waiting as getting the door open.
I think any of these three options is brilliant. He just kind of shrugs and says, yeah, but Stevie from floor 10 tried to get wise with him.
Is that why Stevie from floor 10 hasn't been seen in a full month?
Well, no, you have. His face is just so swollen, he doesn't look like Stevie anymore.
Oh, I thought that was some horrific mutant that you fished out of the sea, because Mr. Kyoto wouldn't let you have a dog.
Hey, I'm not fragging touching that dog, it's a yappy little bastard.
Honestly, you'd think like a 6'7" elf woman with like bionic arms like pregnant anacondas would be into like a Doberman or something. But having said that, Annika could probably take a Doberman in a fight.
Honestly, I'd prefer the Doberman. It's bigger, so I can hang on to it better as it tries to tear my face off, whereas this thing is too small to grab and it goes straight for the crotch.
Also, it's one of those horrific naked ones, and I don't want to touch it.
Yeah, that guy from, should we say the guy from floor 15? He's singing soprano again.
Oh, this is worse than Mrs. Clapperman took up the trumpet. Huggy, if you could just pull me into the elevator, please.
You go in to pour him into the elevator, and it seems to be full of trash, and as you go to step in, the trash kind of moves, and Rick just kind of emerges from this lot and just looks at you and goes, "What?"
Huggy, Rick, Huggy, Huggy, Maverick, Huggy, Maverick, Rick, Maverick.
I believe we've already met.
You don't need to introduce me to Huggy, Toyger.
I sort of reach over and paw at your face like, quiet.
Rick's a classy drunk. He's got the brown paper bag. He just takes a swig of, you're guessing, soy whiskey, something like that, and just points to the out of order sign and then burrows back into his cardboard box.
Well, I guess we're carrying you. This counts as my exercise for the day. I've already been on my feet for too long. Right, let's get up.
Just the out of order sign's been there longer than the building has. Which dialect of High Enochian is the floor counter showing?
The floor counter's currently showing 33rd, but you're on the ground.
And so is the lift.
Yeah, you're quicker walking. You can just leave me at Mr. Kubiota's front door. I will come to and crawl up the stairs later.
I said we were going to get you to your flat. We're going to get you to your flat.
Oh, thank you, Huggy. I give you like an upside down hug.
You take Toyger up the 6 floors. It's the usual dreck in any high-rise in the sprawl. There's people hanging out in the stairwell. There's any number of trash bags that have just been tossed in here, empty bottles. Yep, that's a used needle. Oh well. You get up to the 6th floor, and there's a couple of youngish Japanese-American-looking guys stood in the stairwell on the door that leads into the corridor where the actual apartments are. And they look you up and down as you start to approach, and you do notice that at least one of them seems to be reaching behind his back, like he's got something tucked into his belt back there.
Shinzo, if you pull a gun on any of us, you will live briefly enough to regret it.
He looks up and goes, "Oh, I didn't see you up there, Toyger. What the frack happened to you?"
Many things happened to me. Huggy, Shinzo, Huggy, Shinzo, Maverick, Shinzo, Huggy, Toyger, Huggy.
You don't need to introduce yourself to Huggy, Toyger.
As you can see, Toyger is not feeling his best right now.
Yeah, I can see that. What are you doing on the 6th, Toyger?
I'm transitioning between the 6th and the 18th, where I live.
Alright, because you looked like you were coming in. If you headed to the 18th, on you go.
Right, as long as it's okay with everyone.
Yeah, Toyger's cool.
I wouldn't go that far.
Huggy hoists Toyger a little bit closer up on her shoulder.
Maverick, I sort of just leech over and try and paw at Maverick for that, like, be quiet.
Shinzo just kind of sniggers and says, "I bet he's alright. I mean, he's a bit of a weirdo."
True.
He nods to you and says, "Mav, was it?"
That's me.
"You're alright."
Thanks. Mav gives him a sort of careful look. I mean, compliments from street punks are not the most high currency, shall we say.
It's better than them pulling the gun. That's so goddamn tiresome.
Yeah, I'd have to tase them, and then I'd have to find new taser rounds.
You head up the stairs to the rest of the building. You do have one point, though, where you're passing the 11th, where you're thinking to yourself, "Oh God, it's her again. For the love of God, either you, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever, just buy a ball gag for the sake of the whole goddamn building."
You know, he made us sing Twinkle Twinkle with Little Star with Moans once. That was interesting.
How do you come up with all this rubbish, Toyger?
I open my mouth and I let my belly rumble.
So yeah, you get up to the 18th. It's pretty quiet. Your front door's there. Nobody's tried to steal it. This is an improvement from 3 weeks ago.
Right, so, Toyger, I take Toyger off of my shoulder and kind of hold him up by his armpits so he can open the door. Like you would a child.
How much effort has Toyger put into the security on his flat?
The building's a bit archaic. There's a key lock, there's a mag lock with a code, and on the inside there's like some deadbolts and chains and things. It's also Toyger's flat is also his lodge, so there's like the sort of generic magical protections you get. Like there's like a ward around it.
At that point, Maverick, you would not be able to go through the ward unless you turn off your adept powers.
Indeed. Does Toyger mention the ward before we pass through the door?
I've managed to open the flat, Huggy has carried me in, and then I say, "Oh shit, Mav, the what?"
Does Mav walk into the ward at this point?
Give me an edge roll, let's find out. In fact, no, who's got the lower edge? What's your edge stat?
4.
3.
Roll your edge, please, Toyger.
No hits.
You fool.
Mav, could you make a magic plus charisma test?
3 hits.
Nope, you try to walk through the door and it's like walking through a brick wall and you just kind of go, blam, ow, oh.
Oh. Toyger.
What the hell just happened?
Toyger. You could have warned me. Ow.
Right. The house, the flat's protected. It's sacred to Cat. Anyone who comes in here and tries to use magic without her blessing and permission gets bitten.
Yes, we
At
do.
this point, I'll change to carrying Toyger more like by the scruff of his neck. Mav, what the hell just happened?
I walked into some bad juju. I'm awakened. I can't walk through mana barriers. Ow. I turn off all my adept powers, which takes a moment's concentration. And try again. Gently.
You're fine, because everything's turned off.
I don't have any focuses or anything, so that's fine.
So
What's confusing you, Huggy?
So what is... I don't know, I don't need to know. This is like a fireball, basically, but for magic.
Exactly.
The house is magically protected.
Right, Toyger, where's your bed? We're getting you into it.
So Toyger's flat's kind of a studio situation. There's one door that leads off to like a tiny little pokey showery bathroom type effort. One corner's a kitchen, one corner's a bedroom, the rest is just floor.
Given the nature of the sixth world, that bathroom is probably actually just a shower cubicle with a fold-out toilet and fold-out sink.
Ah, like being in a prison.
I will take your word for it. Would either of you like a coffee or, some fungal wine or some real wine or some hurled?
I am going to go home and sleep as long as I can because I am very, very tired.
Okay.
Likewise.
Thank you for dropping me off at my flat.
Toyger, at this point, Huggy sort of places him on his bed. Toyger, I love you, but you are heavier than I normally carry, and I just carried you up 18 flights of stairs, and I am now going home and going to bed.
So Toyger sort of reaches up and grabs Huggy's hand. I love you too, and gives her a little kiss on the hand and then visibly passes out.
Huggy will sort of knock the side of Toyger's head in a friendly way. Make sure that there's nothing that's going to immediately harm him, and then will leave the flat.
You head down the stairs without incident. When you get to the foyer at the bottom of the stairs, you find the hobo that was living in the elevator, Rick, and he sees you and he scuttles over and he just sort of stands in front of Mav. He's not looking you in the eye, he's looking a little bit lower, like kind of at your chest. But if you try to step around him, he just steps in your way again, and without looking at you directly, he says, "I'll frag off for 5 new yen."
I've got 2 weapons on my person. One of them shoots lethal rounds, one of them shoots taser bolts. Which would you like?
Mav, not killing somebody in the hallway.
He gives you a grin, which... Oh, Jesus. Yep, dentist has never seen any of that.
Yeah.
And he just says, "Those bullets are more than 5 new yen."
Huggy will, you know what? This is not Huggy's problem. He's standing in front of Mav. Huggy is going to sort of sigh and walk past.
He steps in front of you and he gives you a shit-eating grin and just says, "It's 5 new yen between you, it's a deal."
Huggy will keep walking. If the gentleman wants to continue standing where he is standing, that's his problem.
Non-adept solution, troll solution.
Give me a... let's just say body plus strength to just kind of shunt him out the way. He's not looking for a fight, he's just looking to be a pain in the arse until you give him money to go away.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight him. This is just a case of, I'm too tired to deal with this right now. Oh, no, there we go. 3 hits.
So you got 3 hits. He actually got 5.
Right.
As you try to walk past him, he just drops to the floor and just hangs onto your leg and sits on your foot. And just looks up at you grinning and just says, if I've knew yet, and they'll frag off.
You are more annoying than I gave you credit for. Well done.
He just goes, and nods while smiling at you.
Right, Huggy's going to keep walking.
He just sits on your foot holding on.
Yeah, Huggy has dealt.
And just starts poking you in the knee in just the most annoying way that he possibly can.
Right, Huggy is going to keep walking until she gets to the van. If he stays on her foot, then he stays on her foot.
You're approaching the van, and as you get out the door, you hear something about fragging trolls too fragging strong. And he just lets go of your foot and sits on his arse in the doorway and just looks distrustfully at the outside. One of the gangers just kind of looks down and says, "You're not doing that again, are you, Rick? Come on, man. Come on. Come on, have some self-respect, dude." And he just kind of looks at you and sighs and says, "Yeah, this is his new thing. He's not doing badly out of it, but..."
Charmed, Rick.
Well, he really needs to work on his stamina, I think.
Rick has gone back inside, like the lights don't work very well inside, it's a bit darker, and the ganger just kind of looks at you and says, "Yeah, Rick just doesn't like it very much outside. He was born in that building. I don't think he's ever been out."
That's fair.
He doesn't trust it, but frag it, can you blame the guy?
Absolutely not. No, if I didn't have to go outside, I would.
It's rough out here.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of annoying, but he's harmless.
Seems like a nice enough guy. Given degree of nice and enough and guy.
I mean, he's got a grift going. He actually pays his protection, which, for a homeless guy, it's dreckle, but, it's the principle of the thing.
Absolutely. I mean, if the guy's paying his protections, and he's clearly got something going for him. He's clearly got something to protect.
Well, I mean, he's still got some of his teeth. Anyway, you gonna frag off or what?
Oh, yes, we're planning to.
Let's go, Huggy.
You started up this conversation? Huggy continues walking to the van.
After a slightly confusingly civil interaction with one of the local gangers, you just kind of sat in the van going, "Did that just happen? That just happened."
It was only civil because they know what Huggy's van is capable of.
On the one hand, they have to fight the van with the minigun. If they cause problems out front of this building, the terrifying woman creature from the 6th floor might kill them. And if they survive that, the weird cat wizard on the 18th floor, who likes his peace and quiet, might come after them. So there's no winning in that situation.
Yeah, they've come to the conclusion of shakedown easier pickings.
There is a reason that the people outside this door are young gangers or prospective gangers. This is not the pick of the
shake spots. Shakedown spots.
Are you headed straight to Mavs, or are you headed back elsewhere?
Mine?
Yeah, I'll head straight to Mavs.
Do me an edge roll.
That's 0 hits.
As you're making your way over there, driving along the road quite happily, and there's an underground combat biking race that just goes straight past. And yeah, the arse end of the van gets stitched with bursts from an AK as one of them's trying to take out the guy in front, and he uses your van as cover.
Oh, practice.
So could you please resist, call it 9 physical AP -1?
That's 8 hits.
The van takes 1 point of damage as your wing mirror just gets taken out by a stray bullet.
The target goes up, fires off 1 burst. Not at the gangers, but just sort of in their direction.
At them. Come on, they deserve it.
Just as you're firing, they're going round a corner. Oh, holy dreck, one of those crazy fraggers has got a monofilament whip and just cheese-wired one of the other bikers.
Jesus. Right, okay, they are taking it seriously today. I thought they started using another circuit, but fair enough. They're back here again. I wonder what happened to the old one.
Yep, oh, shit, it's a Suzuki Mirage that just got put through the arse end of a Nissan Jackrabbit. Not my problem!
I mean, if this was a different day, then I would be getting out and grabbing some of that scrap, but not
We've
today.
had a long day.
Today has been far too long.
Also, we're probably on Richmond Avenue at this point, and you don't just get out here.
You don't get out on Richmond Avenue, no. Not unless you are packing some serious heat and have some serious body armor.
We are packing some serious heat.
Not serious enough.
Not so sure of the body armor.
You eventually make your way over to Mav's without further incident. Remind me, what's Mav's place like?
Mav's place is in a knockoff commie block. It's another studio flat. It's alright. I would like to add exactly 0 points of qualities to my place.
Okay.
+1, quiet neighborhood. -1, trigger happy landlord.
Alright. The building takes up the entire block. It's just one massive building. How many floors is this? Is this super tall or is this 5 stories?
I don't think this area will be that tall. It's in a sort of 12 floors area.
12, 15 floors.
But each of the blocks on the map at this point is one fuck-off building.
Yeah.
And they all look the same, and they're all concrete monstrosities.
Yeah. The first 2 floors of each one is just shops and malls and Christ knows what else. Yeah. All of the adverts and neon.
It's a C-grade area. It's not actually terrible.
C-grade means it's safe for those shops.
Yes.
C-grade means it's worth putting up a neon sign because somebody isn't going to try and eat it.
The downside of this area is that it's run by the Mafia. Either this is Giuseppe's people or they put Mav in touch with him in the first place.
You head in, you've got to go through the mall first. There's some kid who's just punching a pinball machine. You can see the local street gang wandering over there with a look of intent, shall we say, as you head on up the stairs. And once you get past the 2nd floor, the sound of the mall kind of dissipates a little bit. What floor does Mav live on?
3rd, just above the mall.
And it's above the 6th world equivalent of a certain very popular southern fried chicken place. So in your apartment, Mav, there's just always this all-pervading smell of fried chicken about the place.
The whole air feels slightly sticky.
Don't remind me.
Why is the air greasy?
I lived above KFB.
Well, you know very well what it's like then.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, for a year. I lived above KFB.
Alright, so you head back into your flat. There's the usual slight smell of fried chicken and the slight greasy tang in the air. I remember you saying Mav's place very regimented, doesn't quite commando roll his socks, but not far off.
Not far off, yeah. It's tidy. There's one bowl next to the sink. It's the complete opposite of my place. One of the walls is AR art.
As you get in, the home host powers up, and it comes up with AR windows with news headlines and stuff. It seems that the original attack that you guys were brought in for, that still seems to be in the news, but it's way down in the other items category now. Nobody's talking about it that much. There's also something about an attack on a community centre in there. Wonder what that could be.
What are they saying about that?
Seems to be something about criminal elements, misplaced strike at innocent, mostly human area, blah 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 blah, spin, make the metahumans look bad kind of deal. Usual dreck.
Usual dreck.
There's also the home host answering machine, which has come up saying that there's a message on it.
From?
It says it's from Marty.
Alright, what does Marty have to say?
It seems to be Marty on vidphone, and he's scratching the back of his head, and he's looking a little bit embarrassed. He says,
Hi Mav. If you need more supplements, I can sort that out for you, but that's not what I'm calling about. You remember when you last came by, you were with somebody? I was kind of wondering if you could get me their comm number so that I could drop them a message. If you can't get it, no worries, but if you could just let me know either way. Cheers.
Face palming. And a long sigh. Mav then pings a message to Huggy, a text message, saying, Marty would like your number, can't imagine why. shall I pass it on to him?
Sure, I mean, it's always good to have contact to this, have contact where you can get bullets off. I mean, I don't need to ask you for every time I need to go and pick up more ammunition.
Mav pings Huggy's comm code to Marty.
Are you doing anything else in the immediate future, or is it that about it?
Probably drinking a glass of water. Yes, trust the water. It comes out the filter machine. Yeah, eating a soy bar, going to bed.
I just picture Mav just kind of sat there in just his boxers, just with a bottle of water, the soy bar, just chewing on it with his hands on his knees going, what the frack just happened?
That was a fragging day.
Huggy, what are you doing?
Huggy is going to drive back to her garage, park the van, get out the network that is set up for the car repair place that this place still thinks it is. Throws up a whole AR feed in Swedish, because that is the language that it is currently in, and she has no way of changing this, because every time they try to change it, it breaks even more.
There was that interesting week where you managed to put it into Swahili, and it took you 2 weeks to find somebody that could speak Swahili.
Yeah, that was an interesting week. Apparently, the Swahili was very, very well translated. The translation software in this thing is top-notch. If I can just get it to be translated into a language I understand. We've not hit that yet.
German or English, you don't care which.
I'd even take all that. Takes me slightly longer, but I would take it.
However, if that damn thing starts putting things into Schweizerdeutsch, you're out.
Oh god, the closest we've ever got it to German is Danish. And that was a very confusing 3 weeks, because I thought it was in German for a while. I wasn't checking. You know, you're just like, okay, I'll do this, and then, you know, nothing works, and everything does strange things, and you're like, what the fuck is this? It's like, you know, in a horror movie, when you suddenly you start to realize everything's not quite right. That, basically, but with the AR system in your house. So God only knows what the home system time it thinks it is, because that's what, you know, blindfolds and earplugs are for.
It currently thinks it's around tea time on a Tuesday afternoon in London.
Right.
Has it produced tea?
Actually, yes. It's terrible, but it claims it's tea.
In that case, Huggy's breakfast, or whatever meals this is supposed to be, is tea, and is whatever this thing is, like a little bread ball, slightly sweet. It's got black dots in it. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's starchy. I'll fucking eat it.
It's a soy ball with coloured bits of soy in it.
How close has Huggy come to just getting, like, the 6th world version of Duolingo and trying to learn Swedish?
Well, the problem is that it's only going to be Swedish for another month or so until it starts picking up that it's not being translated properly and switches to another language. If I try to switch it, it switches to something completely random and sometimes just like windings. But every few months or so, it's like, are you understanding this? And I never know quite which button to press. So if I get the wrong one, then it changes it to another language.
See, you're normally fine. It's just when it starts using dead languages that it gets really annoying.
The week where it was Latin was actually better than most because I know a little Latin.
It was just that week where it was in Sanskrit. Frag's sake.
I didn't even know it was Sanskrit until I had a friend come round and they were like, why is your singing, is your AR in Sanskrit? And I was like, I don't fucking know. I didn't ask it to be.
How is it managing to translate into linear B? No one speaks that. How did it break so completely?
This is what happens when you give a device unfettered matrix access.
When I moved in, this place was fragged, and it has only got more fragged over time. But it produces food, it produces drink, and I just eat whatever it gives me. One of the reasons why Huggy's diet is not very healthy is that her diet is not controlled by her at all. It is controlled entirely by the home system, which is insane. Seems like a poor word choice to use when dealing with a machine, but I think this machine might be insane.
The fun, manageable sort of insane. It's just like every morning it wakes up and spins the wheel.
But that's the thing. You say every morning. The concept of morning is largely lost on Huggy at this point because the clock resets every few hours or so, and like this, so it always thinks it's just our time. So sometimes you'll get the wake up, it's time to get up noise at 3 in the evening, at 12 at night, at 3 in the morning. So it's always, you're rolling dice as to what time the house thinks it is, which means that you get whatever meals the house thinks it should be preparing at this time in this part of the world. And when I say this part of the world, I mean the part of the world that the house thinks it's in.
Which is not connected to the language it thinks it's in, because that would be helpful.
Hence why I have got P and whatever this thing is.
Have you ever thought about getting your house exercised, Huggy?
Okay, so the time we had the house exercised...
What?
So one of the things that this house came with was a security drone. There's a reason that security drone is loaded with stick and shock, because the time we tried to get this house exercised, the house attacked the exorcist.
Was the exorcist okay?
If we got them out and got some medical attention, they survived, if that's what you're asking. I had to buy them a cyber arm, but,
Difficulties with her home host aside, this home host is basically becoming a character in its own right at this point. I love it.
This home host is becoming an adventure in its own right.
What does Huggy call her home host? Is she like, will it do some raid and she'll be like, not today.
Huggy has a special name for the home host in Orzet, which she speaks rather lovingly. Those of you who speak Orzet, which I think here is only Mav, knows that it's essentially a curse used against betrayers of the clan. It's an extremely, extremely powerful insult when used in the correct circumstances.
A break glass in case of emergency, fuck your ancestors up into the 17th generation insult.
That sort of thing. It's something along the lines of your ancestors would be ashamed of you.
Mav will have been very, very confused the first time you used that around him.
Especially since it was said with such a gentle, loving tone.
But the thing is that it's also it's an insult that you normally use in a very formal context.
It's the Orzet equivalent of when in the British Parliament somebody cracks out the "in the name of God, go" speech.
Yes, that sort of thing. It's very, very formal. All of Huggy's Orzet is very formal.
As we were saying, are you doing anything in particular now that you're home, Huggy?
She will get a set of noise-cancelling headphones and then turn her cyber eyes off and get into the hammock. And probably for the first little bit, she'll try sort of run a VR of the local news and, stories that she's been paying attention to. The equivalent of, flicking through Twitter. But very quickly she'll just, crash out because she is fucking knackered.
Toyger, we're just going to abstract this a little bit. Could I get a body plus body roll, please?
Yeah.
Just keep doing it until you get to 3 hits. It's just to find out how long it takes you to heal your physical wounds. So this is just you resting for a few days.
No hits.
That is, in fact, a critical glitch. Alright, Toyger, so you get up, you go to the bathroom, and then you slip on the bar of soap that's fallen over in the shower. You're not wearing any armor, so just on your body, could you please resist damage equal to your body?
No hits. Not a critical glitch this time, though.
This is fortunate for you, because you managed to slip on a bar of soap that you left in the shower, and you have a moment of, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, go down and crack your cheekbone on the side of the toilet and take 2 physical. And you just find yourself lying in the bottom of the shower cubicle, hanging onto the edge of the fold-out toilet in a large amount of pain, just going, Okay, so on the second day, you're in bed.
So I've rolled 2 hits there.
Yep, the first one heals up 2 wounds, so you're back to 3 after 2 days. After slipping in the shower, hurting yourself horribly, you've managed to patch yourself up. Can I get another roll?
No hits, critical glitch. Again.
Do you wish to edge this?
So that I can actually get something done this downtime, yes. But because it will be so funny, no.
Toyger just spends the rest of time trying to regenerate 3 hit points, glitching.
Just breaking himself in comedic ways. Okay, so I'm going to chuck this up to the other 2 players. How does Toyger manage to hurt himself on day 3?
Right, so on day 3, you said you like to make real food, right?
Yeah, micro-protein.
You go over to the kitchen, you're like, you know what? It's been a shit couple of days, I'm going to make myself something nice. You take out one of the knives, you're getting yourself set up, and, you know, you're sort of going, okay, where did I leave that? Where did I leave that? Oh crap, you drop something on the floor. You go over to pick it up, and your legs just give out. You've injured yourself repeatedly, and you've just kind of not estimated how bad your shoulder is still. So when you're holding yourself up on the counter to lean down to pick something up, your shoulder just gives out. Unfortunately, that hand was also holding the knife.
And it goes right into my foot.
Toyger actually is dressed at this point, so I'm gonna let you use your body armor for this one, like to simulate a decent boot, because you're not just breaking yourself on the toilet this time.
1 hit.
Alright, so you're now on 4 damage.
Okay, this one I am going to try and magically heal.
Yep. And give me another roll. Let's see how badly you fuck this up. If you wish to use edge, you can.
Yeah, I'm going to turn my edge on.
Just otherwise, just Toyger perpetually hurting himself in his own goddamn flat.
He starts the next run, and he's just covered in bruises.
I will show up to the next one more badly injured than when I left the last one.
Just there with a whisk stuck in your ear, just go, don't ask.
Whisk stuck in the ear, missing an eye.
Don't ask, it's more damage to remove it than it is to leave it in.
Oh, fuck off. No hits, critical glitch.
Oh, fucking hell!
This is pre-edged!
This game hates you, Toyger!
Edge slider on, I wanted to... What was that?
Oh my god!
You thought you could succeed. You were wrong.
The dice gods have just declared that Toyger is having the worst downtime ever.
I lost when you got shot.
But I got to shoot the child back after that.
Alright, what happens to him, Math?
Oh, what happens to Toyger? We've had cooking accidents, we've had cleaning accidents. I think you fall out of bed onto... What do you keep around that's dangerous?
That guy's finger.
Yep, it's the finger.
So it's the razor hand finger.
The cyber finger. Yep.
Yeah. Oh god. Alright.
Stab yourself with the cyber finger.
It had fallen onto the floor, like, curved bit up, and Toyger rolled out of bed and landed on it, just, like, with his back. Like, he's just lying there staring at the ceiling with this, like, thing lodged in one of his, like, thoracic vertebrae.
2 damage again. You'll need to resist. You're in bed, so no armor, so just on your body.
Just impact.
Alright, so you resisted 1 point of the damage, so you only take 1 damage. Does somebody need to go round and check on Toyger? Just to duct tape him to the bed so that nothing happens.
I was planning on going round to check on Toyger at some point during this downtime.
How many days has it been?
3. I'm just lying on the floor with the knife still in my back, and I'm getting out the phone. You're all saved in my phone with, like, my comlink with various little pictures. So Maverick's got, like, a sort of cartoon gun with eyes and everything. Sunshine is just, like, a generic sun. And Huggy is a bear in a business suit for some reason.
Seems logical.
I'm just pressing the bear in the business suit and lying there. Beep.
I'm beginning to wonder if at this point Toyger's taken more damage off his own flat than a dude with a Kalashnikov.
At this point, we're gonna have done more damage to Toyger in downtime than we are in runs.
Yep, that's looking like what it's going to be.
Oh god. Okay, so you're ringing Huggy.
Hi, Toyger, what's up? How are you doing?
Huggy, my dear friend, my favourite troll, sweet flower of the Schwarzwald. I have a knife in my back and I cannot move. Please come to my house and watch awful Aslan or telenovelas with me.
Toyger, what the fuck have you been doing? Right, I'm on my way. Oh Christ, what time is it?
First the sink attacked me.
Okay, I still have no idea what time it is. Right, give me a second, I need to wake up. I'll be over in a bit.
The sink attacked me. Then my kitchen attacked me. And then my possessions attacked me.
Right. You want me to call that exorcist?
I literally am more badly injured than when we got back from the pirating.
Right, okay, I'll be on my way in a second. You want me to pick anything up on the way there?
A new body,
Some spare blood.
some spare blood, some plasters with dinosaurs on them.
I actually know where I can get those. Yeah, I'll grab some.
Thank you. You're my favourite.
So Huggy turns up with the corpse of a random ganger, a bottle of AB that they drained from said ganger, and some dinosaur plasters. It's not like a blood pouch, it's just a milk bottle with no cap on it.
Oh, come on, I'm not that unclassy. It's capped with a piece of cling film with elastic band put around it.
I'm going to skip over Rick's antics as he tries to get money out of you this time. You've got to admire the guy's persistence. He's now just... he doesn't care about the money anymore. You're just a challenge.
Yeah, well, I needed to get some exercise anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this time he stays clinging onto your leg till about halfway up the stairs when he gets bored. And you kind of realise, oh, I'm glad I wore the waterproof boots. Rick, do you have no shame? Jeez.
No, he doesn't. He covered this.
He just gives you the nod of respect as you ignore him around about floor 10. And he's just like, oh, I can't be arsed with this. I'll get you next time. And you kind of get the sense that he actually likes you because of this.
You know what? I have a lot of respect for him if he makes it up 10 floors.
Yeah.
Like, that's some persistence.
I mean, the guy's grabby as hell, but yeah. So yeah, you get to Toyger's door.
Knock on the door. Toyger, can you move?
I can move. It's just every step hurts, and I would like to be lying face down on the floor at the minute. You just hear sort of like shuffling and like lots of like very laboured motions of like deadbolts being drawn back, and then the door drops, like sort of opens, and Toyger is standing there, looking how you'd expect someone who's just gone through what he's gone through to look.
Is the cyber finger still in his back?
It's at that bit in the middle of your back that you can't reach, so yes.
Toyger, what's a... Okay, Toyger, turn around.
Why? Is there something on my back?
Toyger, Huggy will just pull the finger out. Not anymore.
Why did you stab me?
I didn't. You stabbed yourself.
Why are you holding my finger? And he just sort of like takes it back and puts it like back in his pocket.
Toyger, please put that somewhere where you're not going to roll onto it again.
And he goes over and just puts it like in the knife block in the kitchen.
That is a better place for it than where it was.
It can replace the knife that I threw out the window.
Yeah, we just finished that last season.
I can't believe that Raoul and Garfield were the same person this whole time.
What, didn't you see that coming?
No, it came as a complete surprise.
Anyways, I suggest that we put that on hold for a moment, because I've managed to get hold of a couple of seasons of a show from back when I was a kid, growing up in Schwarzwald. Könignacht aus Blitzheim. I'm not quite sure what that translates to.
Is it as good as the telenovela?
Okay, so the first season is not quite as good, but you really have to watch the first season. It's that one you might have heard. It's that one that the guy... It got famous because there was this guy in Berlin who got hooked on this when he was stuck inside a factory or something like that.
And he made all the robots stop trying to be the character. And then
Yes, that's the one. The one.
And there was that riot where 3 people died in Canada after the first movie came out.
We don't talk about the first movie. The first movie is not a part of the franchise. Okay. We're going to watch the first season, and then we can go and we can decide whether we want to watch the second. As I said, the first season is kind of rough. The actors don't really know their parts yet. They're all complete amateurs. But it's brilliant. I love it. So, what do you think? You know, we can watch the next season, or we can try this one out, because I've been trying to get hold of copies of this from the net for forever.
Let's give it a watch. I hear Series 19 of Plumes of Desire really takes a hit. So they cut the funding a little bit after the Wind Serpent battle from Season 17.
Yeah, I mean, that was always going to get them into trouble. But anyway, so yes, Könignacht aus Blitzheim. What does that translate to? König is king, Nacht is night. So king knight of what's Blitz?
Storm?
Of Stormberg? What's this? It's like a word for like a fortress or like a castle or a town or something like that.
Will you put dinosaur plasters on my finger hole while we watch it?
Absolutely.
Yay.
That's what I got the box of dinosaur plasters for.
What dinosaurs? Let me pick.
You can pick the dinosaurs.
How long are you staying over for there, Huggy?
I'm going to keep watch over Toyger until Toyger stops injuring himself.
Do you have the medicine skill?
I do not have the medicine skill.
You're not giving proper medical care, you're just giving basic nursing care. I'm gonna sort of let you default this one.
I'm not trying to nurse him, I'm trying to stop him from hurting himself.
You get logic -2 as an assistance to his healing. This is to simulate the fact that you're just kind of looking after him. You're making sure he doesn't do anything stupid and that Toyger can't glitch because basically you're there to, like, if he slips, you've got your hand on his scruff. So could you give me a logic -2 there, please, Huggy?
I will warn you, my logic is 3, so I'm rolling 1 dice.
Alright.
No hits! Right, okay.
No hits, that's fine, but Toyger can't glitch for the purposes of this test. Toyger, give me body ×2, please.
So I got 2 hits off that one.
Alright, so you're down to just 2 boxes of damage. Are you just spending 1 day there, Huggy, or are you spending a couple of days with Toyger?
How long does it take to watch the entire first season?
The entirety of Night Kings of Lightning Hold, there's a 1 hour long episodes. The first season only had 7 episodes. The second season, they're saying, is more American length. Mav will get an invite to join if he wants.
You wake up one day, Mav, to like a paragraph-long message from Toyger about how good this show is and how you need to come see it, and how he will make, like, he's managed to get hold of some actual chicken and he will make you a curry, and he managed to get hold of some hurlg, and Huggy's gonna hold his hair back while he vomits after drinking it, and you can have some.
You had me at chicken.
Yeah, you guys basically spend another day chilling and relaxing, and could I get another body multiplied by 2 off you, Toyger?
4 hits!
You feel sprightly and alive, and thank fuck you finally healed up.
I'm assuming that at some point during this time, Mav gets called away.
Yeah, quite probably.
But I wake up on, like, the 8th day, having never felt better.
Sticking with Toyger for a few moments, do you have anything now that you've healed up that you're actually wanting to do with your downtime?
I want to learn a new spell.
Okay, what is the spell?
It is levitate.
Ah, he wishes to fly.
I wish to make others fly.
How are you going about finding the formula? Are you going online or are you going to a talismonger?
I've never actually looked for anything online.
You can do it just off the browse program.
Yeah, it's rating 4.
Alright, so you'd have 4 dice for it, and the threshold is 8.
Gonna take a while.
Yeah, your availability interval on that is 2 days, so each roll would represent 2 days, so you might be better off going to a talismonger who would just have more dice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get Pion to do this, because I need to bully some other stuff out of him as well.
Yeah, you're heading over to Pion's place then. Did we ever decide where his talismanry is?
Yes, it's on the map.
As we said before, it's one of those areas that it's on the edge of a bad area and a good area. Depending on who's getting mugged, the cops might take an interest. The astral here, there's no spirits. You do notice there's a relatively high level spirit of beasts at a distance keeping an eye on the place, but nothing else.
So I'm going to have a wee look at this, like, glance towards Spirit and say, oh, that's new. I wonder what he's done now.
It seems to be a bear with scorpion legs?
I am very curious as to what he's done now. Pissing off cats relatively easy. Pissing off bear takes some doing.
You get the sense this particular spirit isn't really aligned with one of the mentor spirits, it's just a spirit of beasts.
So, open the door, the weird crocodile with a smoke grenade up its arse spews smoke at me.
It goes at you in a... You know, like those bears with the growlers in get when the growler's a bit worn out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
Pion, that poor crocodile needs a new speaker. Its growl is very upsetting to listen to.
I know. I had a Decker in last week.
He said something about the host not being compatible with it, and I don't know.
I do not concern myself with the false astral. Why have you hung fairy lights?
Because the light was bad.
There are these wondrous things in the sixth world called light bulbs and electricians. Why are the fairy lights strung around the mummified chimpanzee fetus?
Because I could. And hey, the Decker was in to have a look at the electronics as well, and I don't know, it was something about compatibility, and I didn't want to ask.
Don't suppose you know anything about the weird scorpion bear nonsense I saw on my way here?
He goes pale a bit and says he's back.
Pion, what have you done?
I didn't do anything recently, alright?
Pissing off cats not enough for you. You have to anger every spirit in the greater Manhattan area.
Look, it was 6 years ago. I summoned him, there was a binding ritual involved, not for that, but let's just say he wasn't happy with me afterwards, alright?
I can't imagine there's any spirit alive that's happy with you.
Fragger broke free! It took me 3 days to recover the physical drain on that one. What do you want, Toyger? Why are you here?
I have 2 things I must bully from you.
Alright, you didn't just come here to insult me. What are they?
No, I do often come here just to insult you. It's great fun. I need the formula for a spell. I have the basic outline here, but I don't know about Arcana to formulate it properly. At this point, Toyger hands him over like a scrap of paper torn out of a book.
He looks at it for a few moments, reads through it, and says, well, I'll tell you what your problem is.
Enlighten me.
You follow shamanic tradition, right?
Yes.
This is Asteru.
That'll be why it's not working. Can you translate it?
Well, not really. It won't work for your tradition, but I can get you one for your tradition.
If you would be so kind.
Alright. If I get you this, can we dispense with the being an absolute hoop face to me?
I will key it down to being merely snarky, and I will give you 1,500 of my shiniest new yen.
We'll see. Let me see what I can do. Pion goes over to a stack of books, and he starts digging through them. He shouts over to you, what kind of shamanic tradition are you following? I'm assuming it's not Amerind.
You know, I'm not actually wholly sure. I just want to do as Cat tells me. I go to the places I dream about. I wave my hands in such a way as I'm instructed. I try and base it off the hermetic spells I was taught growing up, but...
Alright. He takes a book and just drops it on the floor to one side. Well, that'll be fragging useless then. Digs through a couple more and hands you a book and says, don't bother cracking it, just sense it and tell me how you feel.
Do I make an sensing roll?
Yes, please.
2 hits.
You get a sense of coldness from the book that's kind of feels like it's creeping into your hands. And you can tell that Pion's sensing as well from the way he looks at you. He very quickly takes the book out of your hand and says, nope, definitely not that one. That's a bad idea. Let's leave that one alone.
No, do more horrible things to Toyger in downtime.
He kind of looks at you and says that I've not got anything suitable now, but I know a guy that can get things and we can probably sort something out. Do you mind if I sense you? It'll make it a lot easier.
Like for like, if you like. I've never actually... I caught a glance and was very nearly sick, so I'd actually like to fortify myself a bit and actually have a look at you.
I mean, if you want to sense me, Toyger, at this point, that's fine, you're in here often enough. But I want to get something that's right for your tradition, because otherwise it just won't work, and then you'll come back and there'll be complaints, you want your money back, and I've already spent it. And I don't got time for that, Drek, so I'd rather just get it right.
Yeah, go then.
He looks at you for a few moments and then goes, huh, weird. I can work with that. Yeah, alright. It's going to take probably about 4 days. You're sensing of him. You got 2 hits. You could tell that he is mostly very healthy. He's awakened, of course, although it does seem that there's been something excised from his aura. Not essence, something else. His emotional state right now, he's irritated, but there's an undercurrent of anticipation there. Like something good might be coming. He's not got any cyberware at all. He's a full magician. He's not an adept of any kind or anything like that. And yeah, you recognise his aura.
The way I sort of headcanoned it is, have you ever seen a tree that's had most of its branches cut off?
That's been coppiced or pollarded, yeah.
Yeah, but overmuch. Like, it now looks sort of sickly and withered. Or like someone who used to be massively into bodybuilding or very, very large, and they've just lost all the weight. There's something very obviously should be there and is now not. That's how he looks.
Yeah, is there anything else that you're getting off him while you're there?
I need binding reagents.
He nods and says, okay, what force are you after?
Higher orders 6, if you've got it.
I'm going to say that this roll will add to his negotiation roll. Could you give me your negotiation roll, please? He'll get any hits that you get as bonus dice.
1 hit.
He thinks for a few minutes and says, yeah, I can get those for you, but again, it's going to take about 4 days. So I can have your order already at the same time.
You can do 2 things at once, you're a clever boy. Payment up front, or...?
He sighs and says, I thought we'd agreed I'd get you some drag. You stop the bull drag.
And I thought we agreed I would tone it down to snarking. At this point, I reach over and boop him on the nose. Boop!
He just gives you a look of, I'm seriously fragging reconsidering this. And just holds your gaze for a few moments.
Last time I was here, I offered to ask Kat if she was ready to forgive you. This time, I'm willing to try convincing her.
He sighs and just says, right now, I'll just settle for this interaction and future interactions being less annoying.
You're no fun when you're grumpy. Bye, Pion! And that's why he just turns and walks out.
As you turn, he shouts after you, you're gonna need to put down 1,000 new yen deposit for this.
Have you managed to fix the jingle on your payment machine? The one that sang to you?
I cut the speaker wire. That's fixed, right?
Well, it doesn't take any more than 1,000. He just reaches over and touches it.
It flashes up 1,000. Is there anything else that you're needing to do in your downtime?
Just start learning the spell, I suppose, and that's it.
Do you want to do the rolls for that now? Or...
3 hits.
Okay, so the first day, you spend just trying to work out what the hell this actually says. What is this that you've gotten off Pale? Half of it is in Latin, and you have to go on to the Sixth World equivalent of Google Translate. Some of it appears to be in Attic Greek. Oh, Pale.
Is that a rune or a drawing of a cock? I can't tell.
Yes.
It's in the middle of the Latin section, so you eventually realise, nope, that's just penis.
No, Pion just doodles cocks in his notebook because he's 5. Excellent.
Oh no, it's meant to be there. It's part of the Latin section, and it's got wings.
Okay.
Because Romans.
Romans did love to draw penises with wings on pretty much everything.
Could I get another roll this time at a -2?
1 hit.
It takes you 3 days to learn it. The hard part was just translating it into a usable language. And then you realise, no, you needed to actually say it in these languages. And, oh, for fuck's sake, Pale. But you do eventually get it sorted.
So the sort of zenith of Toyger having like completely learned the spell is he's sort of sitting like in the lotus position in the middle of his flat, 2 feet off the floor, with other stuff just sort of floating around him, like, yep, I can do this. And then like, I don't know, his phone goes or something and he drops it and the finger dagger lands inches from his face, like, because that's the sort of week Toyger's been having. 2 weeks.
Is there anything else that people would like to do with their downtime during this session?
At some point, Huggy is going to want to go and get herself another drone.
So you go to see Lertzog. They were underneath some sort of building. What was it? An old McHugh's or an old stuffer shack? Something like that?
I think it was an old McHugh's.
Yeah, I think so. So there's the Golden H outside has picked up a couple of extra bullet holes. When you go by, you hit the buzzer and Lertzog, they're down in the basement. And rather than the usual thing with the intercom, you see a fly spy crawl down the door, crane its neck right back, look at you, tilt its head to either side, and then it goes up onto both back legs, and the two front legs are basically coming up, chucking the V's at you in a "oh, it's you, what, how you doing?" typical British sense of humour. We horribly insult each other kind of way, and
I get it.
And you hear Lurtzog's voice come through the tiny little tinny speakers going, "Frag, are you doing here?"
You know how the last time I came to see you, I just lost a drone?
All you hear is just the bing of the door opening. It opens up to about waist height.
Yeah, well, that's mind if I come in?
I opened the door, didn't I?
Yeah, but it's quite dark.
They just once again say, "I opened the door, didn't I?"
Yeah, Huggy knocks down.
As you go to go through it, the door just goes down about 3 inches. And then as you back up, it goes back up and it actually stays open the next time you try to go under.
This is why I ask.
You hear Lurtzog over, this time it's over a different set of speakers. You're not quite sure what it's coming out of, going, "Yeah, but it's just funny."
You're an asshole, you know that, Lurtzog.
Yeah.
I will have brought a 6-pack of Hurg with me.
So you get down there and Lurtzog has their hair pushed right back out of their eyes. They've got their goggles up. They're not like steampunky goggles, they're like the ones the miniature painters use, the magnifying goggles. These ones are magnification times 50. They're like the bottoms of jars. They look up at you and go, "Drone rack's down that way. Sure you'll find something."
Just looking for generic flyer.
Alright.
Something that I can put a gun on.
Alright. You're having a dig through. You're not finding any roto drones. But you do manage to find a slightly beaten up Lone Star Strato 9.
Right, yeah, I'll take it. I mean, as long as I can mount the same sort of gun on it, I'm good.
Yep, so it'll take an assault rifle quite happily. Lurtzog kind of glances up as you pull this thing out and goes, "Oh yeah, that. We'll want to clean the Lone Star markings off it, you know?"
Yeah, I can't imagine that's being very popular around here.
I mean, NYPD Inc. ain't gonna give a drac, but Lone Star do have the contract on a few places. They might get a bit pissy.
It seems in pretty good condition, though.
Yeah, Decker, friend of mine, brought it in. Didn't want a lot for it. He had an interesting run, shall we say.
Yeah, they've got a drone with Lone Star markings still on it, and I can't imagine it bent.
He didn't tell me details. I didn't ask.
You don't ask the details.
No, the
boss no better than that.
The line of work you're in and the he's in is pretty similar, shall we say?
Fair enough, fair enough.
Can you hand me that soldering iron?
Which one? This one or this one?
The one that's hot.
Right, okay, it's this one then.
Lurtzog just goes back to soldering a circuit board and just ignores you for a little while.
Right, I'll take the Strato 9, start sanding off some of the paint, giving it to a once over. You know, I'm not the... Lurtzog is the mechanic, not me, but I have a base knowledge, so I'm going to start sort of looking over it, making sure that it's in good condition, you know.
It's actually in pretty good nick. One of the rotor blades has a little bit of damage, but Lurtzog, basically, you've known them long enough that if there's a little bit of minor damage and you can find a spare, then yeah, cool, whatever.
So in that case, I'll start looking for a spare rotors. It's about the right size.
You do find one. It's currently being used to prop up a pile of... I don't want to know. I don't want to know what's in there. I can see a motorbike engine. I can see... Is that... Why? What? Why is there brake cabling wound around a wheel? I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
That seems to be... There's at least 3 hubcaps in there. And... at least 4 fields, and none of them seem to match, and none of them seem to be actually relevant to anything else in that pile. And you know what? I'm just going to stop looking at that pile because it's confusing me. And that's okay, cool. Because that
Lurtzog just shouts over their shoulder, "Just prop it up with something else. Just tell me what you prop it up with, and don't move anything in the pile."
Right. Okay.
I know what it is. I know where it is. I don't want to lose it.
I know what your filing system's like. I mean, I say filing system. It's more like a...
I know what it is. I know where it is. Don't move things.
Right. I'm taking the gear, this one. It was on the top of that table over there. I reckon it's about the right size, and I'm going to try and prop up the pile with that instead.
Yeah, that'll do.
I'm going to need to file the fans down a little so that they fit in better. I don't want them scraping. Where have you got the Type 3?
They just point to a workbench, which they seem to have left a welding gun out on it. The trays that kind of attached to the wall. I forget the proper name for that you get in workshops. There's a bunch of those out on there at the moment, and seems to be cutting bits for the metal lathe. And there's something else in there. Is a set of. Oh, it looks like they've left out the measuring tools, but you're not sure. It's like really, really specific machinist's tools.
Well, they are very specific machinist. Non-specific machinist.
And they just kind of wave at it and go, it's under that pile of dreck. Just make sure everything stays on the bench.
Yeah, will do.
I mean, you knew this already, Huggy, but anybody coming in here for the first time would just be thinking, this workshop. Come with me, and soon you'll be in a world of OSHA violations.
Yeah, the first time I came in here, I kind of had a bit of a sensory overload, because there's so much stuff, and everything is turned on, and there's lights everywhere, and there's always music playing. And there's always music playing from several different places at once, and it's several different types of music.
What's Lurtzog into?
Yes.
So there's some smooth jazz coming from the speakers in one corner, some trog death metal coming from the opposite corner, and there's just this weird oasis in the middle of like trip hop.
The different areas that they work at have different music to go along with them. They say that it helps, the different tasks take different music.
I can see that.
I just put headphones in. I survived.
Lurtzog's workshop is chaotic at best, but woe betide you if you move something.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Because they know exactly where every last goddamn tool is in this workshop.
Especially do it by sense of smell. That's the only way they do it. There's no way they do it just by sight or memory.
So yeah, you spend a pleasant afternoon doing... I'm not going to make you roll for it, because it's like basic. I take a rotor off by taking a bolt out. I put the new rotor in. I put the new bolt in. Job done. It's like simple shit.
Repetitive work, but not difficult work.
Is there anything else that you are doing at Lurtzog's? Anything else you're looking for?
I'm going to ask Lurtzog to look out for the parts for a steel links. I don't have the money for that yet, and that's going to be something that's a long-term project.
By this stage, they've moved stuff off one of the workbenches that you were looking on before, and they've got the metal lathe spun up. This thing must be 150 years old at this point. It's not a modern, by Sixth World standards, what CNC one with AR or anything. This is analog. Lurtzog's actually turning handles on this.
For all of that, I don't understand how that thing works. I've never seen it fail. It survived this long, it's going to outlive us, I can tell you that much.
Oh yeah, I mean the only thing stopping this surviving a direct nuclear strike is the temperatures. So, Lurtzog, hang on. They're turning so they started out with a random piece of round bar stock, really thick piece of bar stock, that they've turned into an oblong. They've made a cuboid out of a cylinder on a lathe, and they're now doing... They seem to just be playing, because they're... Lurtzog, how are you making a captured ball in a cuboid on a lathe?
Because they're very, very good at what they do.
Yeah. They kind of look up as you come over, and they just give you the Lurtzog nod that says, talking is effort. What is it?
Two things. One, I want to try and get some more armor on the drones, because I can't keep losing them. It's costing me way too much money. I know it's making you money, but, Johnson is only willing to pay so much, and I can only expend so much. So I'm wanting to put some armor on the flying drones, as much as I can without, damaging the fact that they fly. And I want to upgrade a little, get something a little heavier. I want to see if I can put together a steel links.
There's a leg on rack 5.
Yes, I noticed. That's what reminded me. I know it's going to be a long-term project. I don't have the money to buy one right now, and I'm not going to shortchange you on that. But I want to start putting one together. If you see parts for the one, I'm putting the money aside for it.
All right. I can keep my eye out.
Thanks.
Is there anything else?
I mean, I can't think of anything right now. Mind if I take some Grando's mouse around here? I need to buff out some bullet holes. The sanding machine at the garage is asking questions in Swedish, I think, and I don't want to touch it right now.
Don't look at me, I don't do software.
I know, that's why I just want a sanding machine that doesn't speak Swedish. Can I borrow yours? I'll take the van around here.
Yeah, I can open up the doors at the back and bring it down. As long as you pay for the use of the workshop, whatever.
Yeah. Also, there's a 6-pack of Hurg. Need anything else from the Stuffer Shack?
Give me a minute. They disappear and they come back with... It's not their usual comlink, it's one that they seem to keep next to them when they're working on stuff. It's pretty battered. It's got like a screen protector on it that... Hang on, is that actual bulletproof glass? Yep, that's actual bulletproof glass. They seem to have machined this themselves. And they ping up an AR list and send it to you and says, yeah, the chatty guy's back.
Oh, Christ. Do you need this stuff now?
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I've got...
You know what? I'm going to take the...
I've still got soy paste for the dispenser, but...
I am going to go around to the big one in town, because I am not dealing with that today.
Alright.
I'll be an hour or so, maybe a bit more, depends what traffic's like.
Okay.
Catch you in a bit, man.
Okay. They turned back to the lathe and what they were doing.
Thank you for spending some time with us and listening to the Pride Against Prejudice podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show and look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks' time for our next episode. In the meantime, what's the worst injury you've had during your downtime? And how did it happen? Let us know on our Discord. Intro is More Human Than Human by Karl Casey, and the background music is also by Karl Casey. Outro music is Neon Thrills by Luck Hash, and all sound effects are credited in the show notes. The Tops Company Inc. has granted permission to the Pride Against Prejudice podcast to use such names, logos, artwork, marks, and or any other proprietary material for promotional and informational purposes on its website, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with the Pride Against Prejudice podcast in any official capacity whatsoever. All other works mentioned in this podcast remain the property of their respective owners. The Pride Against Prejudice podcast is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 license. So if you want to use any part of the show, please give us the credit. See you next time, chummers.